In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys shortcuts you need to know about Mario Kart World. Without further ado, let's get started. So the first shortcut on this list is on Koopa Beach, and see how I do it. And yes, you just skip that entire turn. Let me show you how I do this. So in time trials, there's like a cheat sheet like right around this item box. So when you see this cheat sheet, just do a slide and then charge jump, use a mushroom, and then just release your charge jump right before you hit the ledge. And you just skipped that corner entirely. And it's still faster than just using a mushroom without going on the ledge. This shortcut is extremely easy and saves approximately about 2 seconds. So yeah, if you have a mushroom, you should take it. On to our next shortcut. So this Crown City shortcut is a must know, so I'll teach you how to do this. And that is insane. So let me show you how to do this. So at here, when you reach the blue house, charge jump onto the wall, get onto this pipe, and then at the end, just left trick off this tree branch, get onto this house, and then just trick back down onto main road. I know there is supposed to have a lamp post, but as I was doing this, I clipped the lamp post and it's very slow. So just dodge the lamp post when you do it. On to our next shortcut. So this shortcut is actually on D2 Spaceport, so let me show you how to do this. So this shortcut is actually harder than it seems. So what you need is you have to trick off these 2 bumps and then go wide, then go in at the last second, and if you clip the ground there, that's the best because you will slow down and you will not go too wide. So there's actually not much going on about this shortcut, but it's just a bit harder than it looks like. But you should definitely take this on in time trials, but not in online play because this shortcut is at the start, and at the start it's very crowded, so you might get bumped off very easily. And the hardest part is how you enter the shortcut because you might get bumped away from your alignment, and that's not good. Let's move on. So this shortcut is the most important in the entire game, so watch this. You just cleared that gap entirely shroomless. So you want to charge your charge jump around like the first vent you will see, and then charge until this ledge and then release it just before. You will clip the wall at the left to get you a bit more momentum, and that, you guys, you will make that shortcut entirely shroomless. So after the gap jump, there's actually a shortcut right after this cannon, and it's also very important and actually easier than it seems. So you want to jump off this on the wall and then keep spamming right tricks to make it over here. This shortcut saves around approximately 4 seconds, so you should definitely be going this every single lap, especially because you can do this shortcut entirely shroomless. Okay, on to our next shortcut, baby. So next up is the whistle stop summon gap jump, so watch this. Yep, you just cleared that gap shroomless. So what you want is that you want to have a mini turbo like right here, get an orange mini turbo, and then quickly have a charge jump and then release it on the edge. If you clip the road, just do an extra trick and you'll be good to go. And there is actually a lot going on with the shortcut. So after you release your orange mini turbo, when you do the charge jump, you want a little bit of your mini turbo when you do the gap jump to get a little bit of speed. So if you're not entirely sure where to release your charge jump, just see my tire mark right here. After you pass the white stripe on this road, you will just clear the gap completely shroomless. And yes, this shortcut is very important. If you have a feather, use it on this shortcut. And this is one of the most important shortcuts you need to know in this entire game. But not as important as Bowser's Castle, but this shortcut is very easy, so I'm not going to talk about it. Let's move on. So this shortcut on Toad's Factory, and pretty much you should know, is the crane shortcut. So after here, you want to aim left on the boost panels, and then get onto this crane, early trick, get onto this crane, get onto this grind rail. If the grind rails are not accessible, so just trick onto the ground and use your boost to get to the ramp. That is just as fast as if you get 2 of the grind rails. So this shortcut is really easy, so I'm not going to talk much, and you should take this on all 3 laps, especially you don't need a mushroom. So let's move on. This shortcut on Boost Cinema needs a feather. Charge jump, trick off the boost ramp, use the feather, and you can land on top of the gear. And then trick 2 times, and then get back onto the main road. This shortcut saves tons of time, so if you have a feather, go for it. And red shells cannot follow you up there, so it's a red shell dodge with the feather. So you should do this when you only have a feather. And in races, you are most likely to pull a coin in first place. So if you have a feather, use it on here on Boost Cinema. And I'm not going to talk about much about the shortcut, so yeah, let's move on. So there's a shortcut on Stardew Peak that you must take. So after the 3rd boost ring, charge jump, use a mushroom through this patch of snow, release your charge jump, land onto the rail, back onto the main road, and then ride this to avoid the water, and it takes about 0.5 seconds. This shortcut is super easy, so I'm not going to talk much about it, so let's move on. One of the most satisfying cuts in this game. Get 2 air tricks off this, so I'm going to stop because this shortcut has a lot going on. And then get onto this wall, immediately trick down, and then get onto this wall, and get 2 gaps, and then this is the most important part. Once you're here, swing the stick to the left, and then when you get insane air, get air tricks, and then get back onto here, and then trick once, and then get back onto the main road. And this is one of the most important shortcuts in this game, so I just cannot see you winning without this cut. So let's move on. Now we got Airship Fortress. 2 tricks down here. Get a trick on the curve, get back here, and then trick on the chain onto the red rail, trick once, and then trick. This strat I would not suggest you go it on lap 1 because this shortcut is just insane. Everyone takes it, and then you will be most likely bumped off. So take this on either laps 2 and 3, but not lap 1. Because this shortcut is very crowded, and there's only one way to take this. So if you want to also take this shortcut, take the right path, but it's still is approximately 1 second slower. So yeah, take this on laps 2 and 3. So at the end of laps 1 and 2 on Shy Guy Bazaar, if you have a mushroom, use it through this patch of sand, and then trick onto the red rail, and then just do the opening shortcut exactly how you do this. This shortcut is also very important, so if you have a mushroom, I would suggest taking this. But if you don't have a mushroom, you can still make it with a little bit of charge jump. And yeah, let's move on. And yes, even Peak Stadium had a shortcut. So you will trick, use a feather, get on top of here, and this takes the turn in a lot more tighter than you would think you would normally do. So you don't need a feather to do this, but it's extremely hard. You have to go inside the spiral, and I never made that. I did that with 10 tries, and I never made once. And if you have a feather on Peak Stadium, I mean, you really need this shortcut because I don't know, man. If you don't use your feathers here, I don't really know where to use it except for there. And yeah, let's move on. Now, Warrior Shipyard. So this is actually a lot going on as well. So I'm gonna stop, do a charge jump, launch off of this thing, and then hit the tree right here. And then it will automatically send you to the right, and then immediately trick off this wall. And then this is the fastest version of this shortcut. And this shortcut is very easy, so you could be taking on all 3 laps. Let's move on. Now, next shortcut is on Salty Speedway. Charge jump onto this wall. On the rail, get onto the red rail. Now, here's come the tricky part. Trick off this ramp. Get off this, trick off the pole, and then trick off the tree, back onto main track. So let me do a recap of the shortcut. Once you're right here, you want to trick onto this thing, and then here comes the most important part. If you trick all the way to this middle section, you want to start tricking to the right, click this pole right here, and then trick off the tree. And yes, this shortcut is very easy, but sometimes you will not make the tree, but that's okay. And yeah, you should be taking this on all 3 laps, especially if you want to get a bigger breakaway. So let's move on. The final shortcut on the video had to be Question Block Ruins. Now shroom into here, trick off this bump, get onto the pole, get here, get another trick. Now there's another shortcut that had to be the #1 most important shortcut, and you guys probably know what it is. Get a super bounce off this, get onto this pole, trick end of the chain, and then do here, trick off the pole, and then just do this. Whatever the hell this is, now this is what you call the #1 most important shortcut in the entire game. So in time trials, when you hit the final ring and launch into the grass, there are actually some boxes that could push you a little bit to the left. So when you're on lap 1, you say, hey Jay, you cannot take the shortcut with the mushroom. Well, do a charge jump, release it after this, and then take the rope, what you normally do. And these are one of the most important shortcuts in the entire game. And yeah, this is the end of the video, so I hope you enjoyed, and if you learned something, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Bye!